Wakisashi's Tea House. Please subscribe. Konnichiwa, minasan. This is Wakizashi coming to you from the tea house over in Japan. Are you good? Today I'm super genki because I'm doing a review of this beauty, Gunslinger Spawn issue 1. It came out today, Wednesday, October 20th, and it was released by Image Comics and Todd McFarlane Productions for the higher price of $5.99. Now for that you do get over 48 pages of story, and you get a plethora of artists working on this. Let me just go and have a look. I'll show you. So on this book you've got, of course, Todd McFarlane. There's an additional plot and script by Alice Cott, and then you've got art by the wonderful Brett Booth, Thomas Nachlik of Magnus Arts, Philip Tan, Kevin Keane, and it has the ink work by Adelso Corona and Daniel Henriquez. So we've got some brilliant variant covers by, of course, McFarlane, also Greg Capullo, Brett Booth, Jason Sean Alexander, Robert Kirkman and Tonton Revolver. Okay, first off I want to say this is a huge recommend, so if you're thinking about buying it, stop the video, go and buy it and come back and listen to the review. Okay, you're back. So what did I think of Gunslinger Spawn issue 1? Well, I tell you what, I had so much fun reading this issue. It's a cracking issue, full of action, full of fantastic art. It's got good writing by McFarlane. The variant covers are great, of course. The different artists, like they showcase the character Gunslinger Spawn in their own way. It's great with the mix of both the modern setting and the classic Western settings in the mini backup stories, which there are 3 of. There are 3 backup stories in this. The third one was my favourite. I'll get to that later. But yeah, overall this was a great, fun, awesome, beautiful looking issue, and I wholly recommend it. So enough from me, let's get to the story summary. Okay, keep watching, here we go. As the issue opens, we catch the end of a conversation between Spawn and Gunslinger Spawn. Gunslinger Spawn rides off on his bike looking pretty awesome. He's still trying to figure out why he isn't in the year 1864. How did he get pulled into the future? And then he starts to get angry when he finds out that his wheeled contraption stops working. On the next page we're introduced to a new character, Taylor. He's in the shop and his boss is leaving for the night. And then Taylor gets visited by some friends. Come to take your ass out of here, come on, epic party. So Taylor locks up and leaves with his friends. And on the next page I like this top panel here which says, as Gunslinger gets to the town's edge, he reminds himself, as he continues to push his bike, that he never had to do this with any horse. Then back to Taylor. After partying with his friends drop him off and he goes back to the store. But a sliver of light appears from the storage shed. He thought he locked everything up. Sweet mercy. It's the motorcycle of his dreams. Where'd you come from, baby? Click. Uh-oh. Put your hands where I can see them. You understand me, boy? And then we get a good look. A great panel here of Gunslinger Spawn. Gunslinger Spawn finds out that the kid's name is Taylor Bartlett. And then he asks him if he can help him with his motorbike. And Taylor has a look and says, it seems to be fine, but wait a minute. Dude, you're just out of gas. Don't mess with me, boy. What are you talking about? What's gas? And then this is followed by a stunning double-page spread. Look at those dinosaurs. How awesome are they? And we're told it's in the dinosaur museum. There's a secret meeting going on, and they refer to Cogliostro. And then it says here, I believe the purpose we talked about begins with the hellspawn called Gunslinger. So obviously they're after Gunslinger Spawn. We move back to Gunslinger Spawn and Taylor's telling him that if he gets enough gas and he has tyres, he can keep travelling. Absolutely, you got enough horsepower in your bike. I know the power of a horse. It's a good scene. And then here, further down, he says, I get that, but if you don't understand something, just look it up, Google it. And of course, Gunslinger Spawn is like, what's Google? Gunslinger Spawn tells Taylor that what he's looking for is buried in a place called Twin Butts. Nice name for a town. Do you know where it is? And he's like, you're kidding. Look, there's a sign for it. You're here. I want to zoom in on this bottom panel here. Look at this. How cool does he look there? The cool air remained silent for the longest time. Then the confession. No, This is how I survived. So Gunslinger opens his jacket and look at that, it's full of weaponry. And look how ripped he is, of course. Love that belt. And on the next page, Gunslinger tells him, always got protection. You want to know why my hat's so tall? And then he pulls out a huge knife from the hat. That's okay, should I be scared now? Says Taylor. Not if you're not one of them. But let's get back to my riding machine. Can you get it started for me? And Taylor tells him that he can, but if he wants to go even faster, he's got some equipment in his dad's garage which could tune it up really well. Perfect, says Gunslinger Spawn, let's go to your house. But then Taylor's like freaking out. Wait, we can't do that. I'm not allowed home until my dad calls to say it's okay, or he comes and picks me up. You see, I don't have a car. And then Gunslinger's saying, don't you think that's a bit strange? Suddenly, boom, thoom, holy shit, crack. It's an angel attacking Gunslinger Spawn. I told him you wouldn't hide, you're too stupid. And you're half the man Al Simmons is. So the angel's goading him and Gunslinger Spawn and the angel fights. Crang, fab, crash. On the next page, bam, bam, bam. Let's zoom in here. The angel's quickness steals any chance of getting the kill shot that Gunslinger's looking for. Instead, bullets hit more than Warrior's wings, which further enrages the angel's bloodlust until he launches at Gunslinger, opening his wings, leaving him open for the kill shot. The angel drops dead as an innocent young man tries to process all of it. And you can see Taylor in the background trying to make a sharp exit. It's like, I'm getting out of here. Taylor, get your ass back here. Let's pause a moment to look at that panel. How brilliant is that? It's beautiful. Look at the detail. I love the pose as well. Yes, sir. I was just bringing your hat back. That's all. That's mitochondria. Here, hold this. And he tosses him one of his guns. What are you doing? Isn't he already dead? And Gunslinger Spawn is tying up the angel. He wants to teach Taylor a lesson. Watch this. You can shoot them in the chest all you want, but that won't do you much good. It doesn't kill them. Only thing that stops them dead is a good one right through the forehead. Okay, lesson over. I skip ahead. Now let's get some gas, as you call it, and get you home. So they drive back, a full tank, which Taylor pays for, of course, a long dirt road later, and then they pull up by Taylor's home. He doesn't like me coming home unannounced. Will he understand? Dad, sorry not to call, but... The young man is stunned by what he sees gathered in his living room. Who's that? What are you doing? I told you never to come back here till I get you. We know he's your son, but we can't have any human knowing we're here. Dad, help! Dad, please! As the heavenly warriors drag the screaming teenager from his house, they hear, atop the roof, footsteps. Then, the creator of that sound descends upon them savagely. Let me zoom in here. Look at that. How dope is that image? Gunslinger Spawn. And that's where issue 1 ends. The first mini-story is called The Lynching. It's August in the year 1853, and there's a woman who's asking, have you found my sons yet? Word is the Bartlett gang was involved. We posted a reward, we're hoping that'll help. Okay, now let me zoom in on this. I'm going to go panel to panel from here. After searching on his own, Gunslinger Spawn, after 3 days, is nearing the end of his mission. Great panel work here. Look at this. He digs makeshift graves to prevent wildlife from feasting on the bodies. The only thing left to do is making sure the family of these dead men know what happened here. Outside, savage barking disturbs the serenity of the man. Then suddenly, the dogs go quiet. Click. I want to show you something. You've made a fatal mistake, stranger. My men are all over this place. Not anymore. It's just you and me, Bartlett. Where are you taking me? Say something. Your boys kill folks because of the land. Who owns it? It's why they hung those poor Sutton boys. I thought you'd like to see the results of those actions. My God, Jimmy, William. That's right, it's the man's sons. Stay if you want, I'm done here. The second mini-story is called Weapons. It's a brief story which tells about how much Gunslinger Spawn puts himself into his work and his bullets even. Because the only ingredient, the only substance he could use to fortify his weapons was his own blood. Oh, look at these panels here. Great comic book work here. Let's go from panel to panel. Appreciate the layout, the design, the build-up in tension. Each new bullet he makes comes at the expense of draining his own strength. And he was already one of the weakest spawns to ever walk on Earth. That's interesting. Putting him in a constant struggle, trying to balance how best to protect himself. Does he use his wits or a weapon? So now, after years of battling, his powers are a fraction of what they were. He can undo the single worst act he's ever done. So that's interesting. He's talking about something that's happened before. I think we're going to find out more in the upcoming issues. At least long enough for him to figure a way to get back to the 19th century. Time to hunt. The third mini-story is called A Small Gift, and this one's my favourite of the three. It's a classic western setting, of course, set in a saloon, and there's a boy working and a guy saying, "I'm dry over here, fix me another glass." And the guy here is teasing the boy, and he seems to be carving something into the table. The boy says, "You shouldn't be doing that, it's not your table." "Is that so? How old are you, boy?" "Almost 12. Mighty young to have such a sharp tongue." And then he's goading the boy, teasing him, and suddenly, thunk! Something flies through the air, cuts off part of his ear. And look at this page, how amazing is this art? I love it. It's dark, it's moody, it's beautifully coloured. The angle of the pose is excellent. "Let go of the boy," says Gunslinger Spawn. "Mister, you just stepped into the wrong person's business." As I say, it's like using all the classic tropes of an old western. "Now we don't need any trouble here, the sheriff will be back soon." And the man is saying, "How about we settle this before any lawman gets here? You seem hellbent on taking the first shot. I was planning to..." Bang! "Changed my mind," says Gunslinger Spawn, of course. Like Han Solo, he drew first and shot first. Boom! "Where's your boss keeping himself?" "You can go to hell. In the hills? I asked you a question." Bang! "Sheriff could have handled that. You didn't have to do that." "Maybe, but the sheriff wasn't here, and someone had to protect your son." "What's your name, boy?" "Tobias. Sorry for the mess. I'm leaving now. You take care of yourselves." And Gunslinger Spawn walks out. Okay, that's where the issue ends. So, following this we get an interview with Brett Booth, and then I think this is a cover for the upcoming The Scorched issue 1, which is coming out in December. A third independent series from the Spawn universe. So you're going to have Spawn, King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and The Scorched. And here's a brief look at the cover for issue 2, I guess, of Gunslinger Spawn. And now, look at this variant cover by McFarlane. That's a cracking cover, isn't it? Great colours, nice pose, looks badass. Then this next one's by John Romita Jr. I like the colours, but I'm not really sold on the design here. The drawing, it looks kind of rushed, but it does have a kind of feeling of movement to it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now this one's by Capullo, Greg Capullo, and yeah, it's a good looking picture here, a classic scene of him riding the horse with a shotgun or a rifle. And then this one, this is a Robert Kirkman variant. Like, what's happened here? He's booting something or somebody. Where's his foot? Can't even see it. And apparently McFarlane inked this. And then there's one here by, let me just check. Okay, a quick look at the title page, and it says it's by Tonton Revoler. And looking at the variant cover list, there's no John Romita Jr., so sorry, that must be a mistake. I got that from League of Comic Geeks. That must have been Jason Sean Alexander's cover. Okay, and the next one, my favourite of the bunch, is this one by Brett Booth and McFarlane, Todd McFarlane. Look at that, look at the detail there, look at the characters in the background. I wish I had a paper copy of this one. And then you get the variant of the Greg Capullo pencils. Beautiful, great shading. Okay, still here, yeah, thank you. So that's it for my review. If you've read it, please let me know what you think in the comments. And just let me feast my eyes on this awesome cover again one more time by Brett Booth. Okay, as always, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to have a review of King Spawn issue 3. Hopefully that'll be up tomorrow. So please join me for that. And if you could like and share and subscribe, that would be so awesome. Okay, this is Wakizashi signing off from the tea house saying matane, see you in the next one. Bye bye. Wakizashi's Tea House. Please subscribe.